All right, Khan, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the 12 shouts, Yasha Allah, giving the course, all honor, glory, and praise unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, this brother Yasha Allah.
Khan, this brother Natash.
It's brother Sirach.
Khan, come back to yet another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. All right, Shabbat Shalom to all that's observing it. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown through the spirit. Like you kind of have to start a little later, but you know this shouldn't be too long. We're just going to address the comment board. All right, just going to address the comment board, specifically going into Revelation 21 verse 4, because apparently we're running from precepts. All right, but as Sirach chapter 11 verse 7 through 8 does say, you got to understand first and then rebuke. All right, so we have to go into it, and we're going to address the comment board through the spirit. All right, so this is on the comment board. So this is from W5LA. All right, it's a video. It's the newest video that's put out through the spirit. And the reason why we just wanted to go into this is just because, you know, usually we don't really respond to it. You know what I'm saying? But the spirit just had us to respond to it through the spirit. And so basically, this is from Shannon Hart. All right, from Shannon Hart. It's a comment made. It says, when he brought out revelation, the he that this person is talking about is the brother that we were dealing with in the video. You can watch it for yourself. You can check out the channel, whatever. But the he is talking about the brother that was bringing this Christian doctrine, you know, to the camp. All right. So we were going back and forth. It says, when he brought out revelation, Yah so-called prophet. So nobody said, I didn't say I was a prophet. All right. Nobody said we're prophets. But if you want to call us prophets, okay, you can go right ahead. All right. It says couldn't even deal with that because he didn't even understand that himself. Definitely dodged that one. So, okay. It says no impure thing will enter heaven. Slavery is impure. So how is there going to be captivity? God is making all things new. That happen on this earth is going to pass away. Okay, so if that's the case, is he going to make a new sun? Is he going to make a new earth? Right? It does say a new earth, but we know that new heaven and the new earth is going into that new rulership, because the Lord said that the earth abided forever, man. All right. You had a precept out? All right, come on, bring this up. Right?
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 4. Mm-hmm. It says, one generation passeth away, right, and another generation cometh. But the earth,
what the what?
But the earth abideth forever.
Wait, nah, it's going to pass away.
But the earth abideth forever.
He makes all things new.
But the earth abideth forever.
Yeah, the earth abideth forever.
That's right.
That's in the precept, man. That's a mighty precept, because that when the Lord says, "Behold, I make all things new," it's not talking about every single thing, man. Because this earth is still going to be here.
That's right.
You know, now, of course, that new earth. And so actually, let's start from the top. Let's go to Revelation 21. All right, let's go to Revelation 21. All right. Let me know if you had a point of precept, but. So let's start from the top. Let's go to Revelation 21 and verse 1. All right.
This is Revelation chapter 21 and verse number 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
Right. So we're in what book?
The book of Revelation.
Book of Revelation. Okay. So Revelation is not plain. All right. A lot of things in Revelation is not plain. It's metaphoric. It's spiritual. All right. So you have to be spiritual to understand everything that's going into here. Let's go to Revelation 13, and let's go to verse 18, right? Let's go to this real quick.
This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 18. Here is wisdom.
Here is what?
Here is wisdom.
So wisdom is in this book. All right, read.
Let him that have understanding.
Let him that have what?
That have understanding.
So how do you have an understanding? Is by keeping these commandments, first of all. And the Lord has to give you that understanding, man. Hold that. I'm just going to get a quick precept on that. Right. This is how you get understanding of the text. This is Wisdom of Solomon. All right, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8. All right. People think that anybody can just open up Revelation and understand it. You can't do that, man. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 21. Nevertheless, when I perceived that I could not otherwise obtain her, except God gave her me, and that was a point in wisdom also to know whose gift she was. I prayed unto the Lord and besought him, and with my whole heart I said. So we can't get wisdom unless the Most High gives it to you. All right. So the Lord said, "He that have understanding." All right. So this book Revelation in specific is for people that have understanding. All right. So going back to Revelation 21 verse 1, it says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." So does that literally mean that there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth? No, because we just read in Ecclesiastes 1 and 4 that the earth abided forever. So which one is it? Right? This earth is going to stay forever. But the new earth and the new heaven and new earth is all about that new rulership, because in the kingdom of heaven, guess who's going to be ruling? Jacob, right? Let's go to Second Ezra 6 and 9.
This is Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse number 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
Right. So Esau is the end of this world. So Esau right now, he's ruling. He's going to be ruling during the end of the world. Right. Go ahead.
And Jacob,
the Israelites,
is the beginning of it that followeth.
So Jacob, his world is beginning of it that followeth. Meaning in the world to come, not in this world, but in the world to come, he's going to have the dominion. He's going to have the rulership. So that's what that's going into when Jacob has that rulership, that new heaven and that new earth. All right, it's not talking about an actual. So he's going to throw away this earth. He's going to make a whole new earth, right? No, that's not what that's talking about. All right. It says, "No, you had like you had point out."
Kind of, yeah, I got a precept.
You got it.
Yeah, kind of like the brothers were saying. Hey, the Most High, he passes the torch, to certain kingdoms in this thing. He set up these different kingdoms, and they kind of rule in the time when they rule. This is Daniel chapter 2 and verse 44. It says, "In the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it should be break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it should stand forever." So all the Most High, he set these different kingdoms up. So every kingdom eventually get passed on to another ruler in a sense. So like the brothers were saying, a lot of kingdoms, they either they rule for a certain period of time, and then ultimately they get overthrown by the Most High. Khan, you got it, King.
Yeah, Khan, exactly. Just like how that's kind of like saying like it's a new rulership. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a new rulership. That's all the precept is saying. And we know that judging off that precept in Sirach, verse 10, verse like in chapter 10, that the king, because of unrighteous dealings and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So literally all these kingdoms are going to translate to Jacob's, because Jacob never really had his kingdom. All right. The Lord said the first shall be last and the last shall be first. All right. Meaning what? Jacob, he never really had his dominion, man. He never really had dominion over the whole earth. All right. We're still in its entirety. So we're still waiting for that. All right. He's going to get that in the kingdom of heaven forever and ever. All right. So Khan, but you had a precept up or
no, you good.
All right, Khan. So yeah, let's keep going in that. Revelation 21 verse 2.
This is Revelation chapter 21 and verse number 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven.
Right. So he saw New Jerusalem, right, coming down out of heaven. Read.
Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So who's the bride according to the Bible? Right. Let's get precepts on that through the Spirit. Let's get Isaiah 54 verse 5. Let's see who the bride is.
This is Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 5. For thy maker is thine husband, the Lord of hosts is his name.
Right. So if you didn't know, Israel has a husband on a spiritual level. All right. On the spiritual level, the Most High is the husband to Israel, and Israel is his bride. Israel is his wife. All right. In a sense, that's why the Lord always likens Israel unto a harlot, which is sad, but It's because that's what we're doing. We're going to these other gods and worshiping these other gods, these other nations. The Most High kind of liken that onto a woman committing adultery. You know, and you can fish that out.
The Lord of hosts is his name. And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth shall he be called.
You see that? And actually, let's keep going to verse 6.
For the Lord have called thee as a woman.
As a what?
As a woman.
As a woman. So Israel is likened unto a woman, right?
Forsaken and grieved in spirit.
Right.
And a wife.
And a what?
And a wife.
What is the bride?
And a wife.
And a wife. This is talking about Israel. It's not talking about everybody. Right? Read.
Of youth. When thou was refused, saith thy God.
Right. So the Lord had refused Israel at a certain point in time. That's literally all throughout the Bible. The Bible is literally like a love story between the Most High and Israel. Right? Because you read these type of precepts, the Lord. Let's go to Jeremiah 3:1 real quick, and then we can bring out the other precepts. But yeah, Jeremiah 3:1 to kind of prove that, right? And I know the brothers are right, probably got precepts too.
This is Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse number 1. They say, if a man put away his wife,
right,
and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again?
Right. So that's all. Like, if you put away your wife and that woman becomes another man's, are you going to go to that same woman again? The Lord said, look, nah, man, you wouldn't do that, right?
Shall not that land be greatly polluted?
Shall not that land be greatly polluted? Meaning going into that woman. Should not that woman be greatly polluted, right? Go ahead.
But thou hast played the harlot.
And he's talking to Israel. Thou hast played the harlot, read.
With many lovers.
With many lovers, going into these other gods, these other nations, right?
Yet return again to me,
right?
Saith the Lord.
So he said, nevertheless, yet return again unto me, saith the Lord. So we see that type of love that the Most High has for Israel. It's on that certain type of, and he has to liken this so that we may understand, so that we may comprehend the type of love. You know what I'm saying? That he has. That's why he likens us onto his son, his children, right? As Second Ezra says, thy fervent lover. You know what I'm saying? That's why he has to liken it onto that so that we as men can understand, right? His love that he has for us. But yeah, brothers got precepts you can bring it out.
You go ahead, brother Natasha. If you got a precept, I'll go after you, King.
Did you want to wait on this one?
Yeah, Khan, let's wait on that one. You can bring out your precept.
Yeah, Khan. Like the brother was saying, hey, the Most High, he's not gonna just give it to us plain. Like classic precept. This is Hosea chapter 12 in verse 10. He says, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions. That's the point, and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. So he used similitudes and metaphors and similes to kind of compare things and try to make it make sense, like the brother was saying. So it's not actually a person, or he's liking everything to a certain thing. He's making it plain, comparing it. But like the brother was saying, this is Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 2. He always likened Israel into a woman. It says Jeremiah 6 and 2. It says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman.
Right.
So literally, he always compares his nation as what? A woman. Because why? He cared for us. He died for us. And when you read a man's supposed to take care of his woman, take care of his household, and that's what Christ did. That's how he looked at us. Now, even when you go to Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 8, you go Jeremiah chapter 3 verse 8, and it reads, and I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery. So like the brother was saying, we kind of commit adultery, going into these other religions, these other these ideology, other philosophies that we was getting from these other nations. It says, Israel committed adultery. I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. And it says, and it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. So ultimately, we know Israel is the bridegroom. are the bride in a sense, comparing to what's going on. It's not going to other nations, and other nations has never referred to the Most High or to Yahushua as a bride or to a bridegroom.
Right.
And then also when you go to Jeremiah 14 as well, you could jump up to verse 14. So like he says, "Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion." So literally, hey, he always compared us to what? He's married to us. This is a marriage. We can't just get out of this without repercussions, or we just can't get out of a marriage. Everybody know the stipulations of a woman being married to a man. She can't just really do whatever she wants to.
Right.
If she is doing what she wants to, she be deemed a harlot, like the brother was saying. But Khan, you got it, King.
Khan. No, yeah, that's completely right. And can you bring up precept real quick? 2 Corinthians 11:2. What? All right, Khan. So yeah, so I mean, we bringing out these precepts, and the reason why we're doing that, for anybody that's watching, the reason why we're doing that is because in Revelation chapter 21, we're trying to prove that bride is talking about Israel. All right, it's not talking about everybody. It's talking about the nation of Israel. All right. So yeah, Khan, let's bring that out real quick.
Khan, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse number 2. For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy. For I have espoused you to one husband,
right,
that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ.
Right, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ. You see that? So our husband is who? Yahushua, right? We know that our husband is the Most High. And hey, look, even in that sense, even Yahushua as well, because guess what? We're brought back to the Father, but by who? Through Yahushua. All right. Now let's get Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 23. Right? Yeah, let's let's start at verse 22.
Right. This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
Right.
For the husband is the head of the wife,
right?
Even as Christ is the head of the church.
Right. So Christ is the head of the church. Read.
And he is the savior of the body.
He is the savior of the body. Right? Yeah, let's keep going.
Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
Right. So it says, so just because, like it says, therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, who's the church? We're the church. Israel is the church. All right. Because the bride is the church. That's what we're reading right here. The bride is the church. So we know that the church is Israel as well. But let's keep reading. It says, unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands everything. Now let's keep going, right? Let's go to verse 25.
Husbands, love your wives.
Right.
Even as Christ.
Even as who?
Even as Christ.
Even as Christ, right?
Also loved the church. And gave himself for it.
So in like manner, you see that? The husbands should love their wives even as Christ also loved the church. Meaning that it's like that husband-wife relationship. You see that Christ has for Israel, that Christ has for the church, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So when we go to Revelation 21, it's no marvel who this bride is. It shouldn't be any marvel who that bride is, man. We're going through all these precepts in the Old Testament. The Lord said precept upon precept, man. Right? Line upon line, line upon line. You know? So let's go back to that though, through the Spirit. All right, Revelation 21. Let's read from verse 2, and then we'll read down through the Spirit.
This is Revelation chapter 21 and verse number 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men.
Right.
And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people.
Right.
And God himself shall be with them and be their God.
Right. So who's always within Israel? I mean, it's like who's always within, or who's always with the Most High, right? What nation is that? I kind of already had said it, but let's go to Joel 2 and verse 27, man. Right. I mean, it shouldn't be any mystery by now, Spirit. But let's see who's in the midst of what nation. All right, let's see where the Most High dwells at.
This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
I'm in the midst of where?
I am in the midst of Israel.
Right.
And that I am the Lord your God and none else.
Right. So the Lord clearly stated that he's in the midst of Israel and that I'm your God and none else. Right. Oh, you got it.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
And my people shall never be ashamed.
My people shall never be ashamed. You see that? So the Lord already said where he dwells at. He dwells in Israel. That's not, it's never going to change. All right. The Most High's word, he doesn't say one thing and then he kind of just, you know what? Nah, I'm going to dwell within all people now. The Lord never said that. This precept never changed. Right. I want to get this 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 16 as well. Because we know that the Corinthians are Israelites as well. All right. 1 Corinthians 10 and 1 on down talks about how the Corinthians, their forefathers, were under the cloud with Moses. And we know that the only people that was with Moses in the wilderness are Israelites. So let's see what Paul says about the Israelites.
1 Corinthians 3 and 16.
Yeah.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
Right.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you?
Come on now, man. Come on. Why are we playing these games, man? Paul is literally saying that the Spirit of God dwells within these Israelites, right? Read.
If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy.
Because the Most High dwells within you. That's why we're not trying to defile our temple, because our temple is not of us, but it's of the Most High. You got your precept on. You have one.
Yeah, I got a precept. This is Sirach chapter 24 and 8. It says, so the creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thy inheritance in Israel. So, like the brother was saying, he's dwelling in Israel. He made his covenant, his tabernacle, and his inheritance is always been in Israel. It's not going to change through the Spirit.
Yeah, that's a good precept.
You know, so yeah, like the brother was saying, he ain't finna just pick up his baggage, his bag, and go to another nation. No, we all know that the Most High don't change. He changed not through the Spirit.
That's right.
You gotta
keep. So yeah, let's go back to that, right? So we already established where the Most High dwells at with the Spirit. All right. And we know that every temple, every tabernacle. So first, like going into the history of it, the tabernacle in the wilderness was with who? Israel, right? It was with Israelites. It was established with Moses, right? Moses got the blueprint with the skilled workmen, and they built that thing. You read Exodus, you know, Solomon's temple in the midst of Israel, right? The commandment to go rebuild Jerusalem and the temple, that was with who? Ezra. You had Nehemiah, you had Zerubbabel, right? Read, Haggai, read Ezra, read Nehemiah. It was always with Israel, right? Show me the Most High's temple being in the land of Moab or being in some other land. It's always with Israel. It's always with his people, all right? Even Yahweh was sent to who? Israel. So let's stop playing here, man. Let's stop playing. So yeah, Revelation 21. Yeah, and let's go to the verse that the brother had pulled that people say we're running from. All right, so let's deal with it now. Right? Revelation 21:4.
This is Revelation chapter 21 and verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
From whose eyes?
From their eyes.
Their eyes. So if you don't read verse 3, you don't know who this is talking about. You might think it's talking about everybody. So that's why you need to read the context. It says their eyes. So we already established that verse 1 through 3 is talking about Israel. Already established that with the precepts, not with our own vain understanding and well, I think. Nah, it's not. It's none of that. It's with the precepts. So it says, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Go ahead.
From their eyes, and there shall be no more death.
Right, of them, read.
Neither sorrow nor crying.
Right.
Neither shall there be any more pain.
Right.
For the former things are passed away.
Right. So it's talking about of Israel, of those people that we're reading about. It didn't say everybody. Right. Now, of course, if you read this with a Christian mindset, you're going to be a little bit confused.
It's 11 o'clock.
Right? It's like you're going to be a little confused, but it's talking about of them. And we're going to show you how it's talking about us, right? And not everybody. Now, first of all, I want to skip down to verse 7. I want to go to verses 9, and then skip down to verses 10 and 12 as well. Right? But let's go to verse 7 real quick, actually, right?
Verse 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things.
Right.
And I will be his God, and he shall be my son.
Yeah, so overcome what? Overcome this wicked world. Just like how in the book of John, chapter 16, verse 33, and guess what? Yahushua said, I have overcome the world. You know what I'm saying? And what did Yahushua do? He kept his father's works unto the end. That's all he did. And by him doing that, he overcame this world. So the Lord said, he that hath my commandments and keepeth them, the same it is that loveth me. Who were given the commandments? Israel. All right, that's Psalm chapter 78 and verses 5 on down. All right, and many other precepts. But actually, let's go to verse 9. I just want to hit these precepts and then move on to like the general precepts, right? Let's go to verse 9.
Verse 9. And there came unto me one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will shew thee the bride, the Lamb's wife.
Yeah, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. So we already established who that is, right? Who is the bride of Yahushua going into Israel, right? Let's go to verse 10.
Verse 10. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and shewed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God.
Yeah, so right here, clearly, if you just read, the holy Jerusalem, again, is being identified with the bride, the Lamb's wife. We already established who that is through the Spirit, right? Let's go to verse 12. I mean, you can't get around this one.
Verse 12. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels,
right?
And names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at that. It's the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, man. Where is everybody in that? It's literally talking about the 12 tribes, right? And so I want to go to verse 24 real quick, right? I want to go to verse 24 real quick to show where the nations are going to be at, right? Let's go to verse 24.
Verse 24. And the nations of them which are saved.
Oh no, now we got to close out the book because I guess we confounded now, huh? We kind of confounded now, man. Damn. And it says the nations of them that were saved. So what that's going into is what? Let's keep reading. All right, let's keep reading.
And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it.
Wait, shall walk in the light of what? Shall walk in our light, because that's what the precepts say, right? We would approve that too. But it says, Salaki, shall walk in the light of it. Go ahead.
And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it.
Right. So what is that light? That light is going into the Lamb. That light is going into Yahushua, but at the same time, it's going into Israel. All right, because let's go to Isaiah 60 and verse 1. All right.
This is Isaiah chapter 60 and verse number 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come.
Who is that? It's going into Yahushua, and who is this talking about? Or who is this talking to? It's talking to Israel. Thy light is come. Who is Yahweh Shai? Because Yahweh Shai is our light. And through him, right, through his light, we give that light to these other nations. But they're not part of that light. We have to shine that light onto them. So without us, there is no light, man. All right? There is no light. In fact, in the precepts, and we're going to show that through the Spirit, we're going to have to be teaching these other nations. They're going to have to come to us for that understanding. They're going to have to come to us for that light, for everything. Just like how we had to go to these nations for everything, man. So yeah, Khan, you got it.
For thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee.
Let's go to verse 3.
Come, verse 3. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light.
It explains itself. Shall walk in the light of it. We see that in Revelation 21. The nation shall come to thy light in verse 3, right?
And kings to the brightness of thy rising.
Bro, it's saying the same thing. Am I tripping or what? Like, it's literally saying the same thing. We didn't write this. We're literally breaking it, or it's like you're bringing it up and literally breaking it down precept upon precept, and connecting it. So yeah, Khan. Sorry, you had a precept?
Khan, I got a precept, King.
All right,
this is Acts chapter. So let me find it real quick. I just had it. Let me find it real quick. I just had it through the Spirit. Hey, so let me find it real quick. I just had it through the Spirit. Okay, I got it. It's Acts chapter 26 and verse 23. It says that a Mashiach should suffer, and that he should be the first that should be rise from the dead, and shew light unto the people and to the Gentiles. Just like the brother was saying, it's the same thing. As first is a Mashiach, which is Yahweh Shai, and then eventually being reconciled back, and then show the light through us to what? To the Gentiles.
Khan, that's right. But yeah, Khan. So let's show, slavery in the kingdom, man. Because actually, before we do that, I just want to bring out like 1 more, 2 or 3 precepts to show that these nations are going to come to us, right? For that understanding. Let's go to the book, right, of Isaiah chapter 2, verse
1. This is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse number 1. And it says, the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
So it's concerning Judah and Jerusalem, talking about all Israel, right?
And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And
Lucky. So it says in the last days, going into what's called eschatology, right? Study the end times. It says that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be exalted in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So they're going to flow onto the Lord's house, right? Go ahead.
And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob.
Wait, to the God of who?
To the house of the God of Jacob.
Wait, no, it's talking about everybody.
The God of Jacob.
The God of everybody, John 3:16.
The God of Jacob.
The God of Jacob, man. So how come we see in the kingdom of heaven, because it's talking about the kingdom of heaven, it's saying the last day. It says to the house of the God of Jacob. It's still not saying everybody, man. All right, let's read.
And he will teach us of his ways.
So just like how I said, the Israelites are going to have to teach these nations the ways of the Lord. All right, because in the new covenant, which proves it's not for them. Because the new covenant says they shall not teach every man his neighbor, right? And every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least of them even to the greatest of them. But that's talking about Israel, though. So that shows you that these other nations, the new covenant does not apply to them. Therefore, death is still going to reign over them. Therefore, pain is still going to reign over them. and all of these other things. Because if you're not under the new covenant, you're still going to die. You're still going to feel pain. You're not going to have immortal bodies, man. You're still going to be struggling to keep these commandments if you're not under the new covenant. All right? Because if you're not under the new covenant, by ultimate and by logical deduction, Christ did not die for you. All right? Because that's literally why Yahweh Shai had to die for us, to usher in that new covenant. You know, which what established upon better promises. Right? God, it says, and he would teach us of his ways, and go ahead.
And we will walk in his paths.
Right.
For out of Zion shall go forth the law.
For out of Zion shall go forth the law.
And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Not from everywhere.
From Jerusalem.
From the land of Moab.
From Jerusalem.
From Jerusalem. Damn. And so going into that slavery in the kingdom, in verse 4, let's read verse 4.
And he shall judge among the nations.
He shall judge among the nations. So you're going to have judges, right? Go ahead.
And shall rebuke many people.
So you're going to rebuke many people. What's that? What do you think that rebuke is talking about? That rebuke is going to be damn shaking the head. I told you to damn put down that cap. I thought I told you to put down that cap, man. You know, you're going to be rebuking these people, right? But
and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares,
right?
And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation,
right?
Neither shall they learn war anymore,
right? So it's not going to be any war anymore, because guess what? At the end of the day, after these nations serve their captivity, they're going to go back to their own land, and they're still going to be under us, but they're not going to be fighting anymore. It's not going to be fighting in the kingdom. What you think they're going to lift up sword against Israel? No, all that stuff is going to be passed away. All right. But in terms of there being slavery, they still need to pay. Right? They still need to pay what they owe. All right. So that's still not, non-negotiable. But yeah, Khan. And it's like you had a precept up?
Yeah, Khan, I got two precepts too, King. This is leaning back on what the brother was going to. This is Micah chapter 4 and verse 8, verse 4. It says, but in the last days, same thing. It shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths, for the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Hey, it's verbatim. It's literally verbatim in this thing. You know, you can't get around it. It's prophesied in so many precepts. I got another precept as well. This is Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 16. And it says, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which come against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of the hosts, and to keep the feast of the tabernacles. So this is literally talking about literally at the end times in the kingdom. It says all the nations that is left. So every nation that is left, hey, they're gonna have to come keep the feast of tabernacles. It says, and it should be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to the keep the feast of the tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all the nations that come not up to keep the feast of the tabernacles. So literally, hey, if you don't keep the tabernacles, which is a commandment, hey, you're gonna get beat into shivers. You're gonna plague gonna hit you. You don't know, your punishment gonna probably be grievous. Who knows? Who knows how some of these brothers might be to you? Who knows, man? That's why y'all bucking up against the mighty man on the Lord, mighty man of the Lord that's on the highways and byways, scoffing on them on the comment board. Hey, you don't know who these men are back on earth. You don't know if you're gonna be in these men's subjection. You don't know. You don't know how he might repay you. This brother might never die. He might remember everything you did. And he said, yeah, I remember you. I was actually praying for you, actually. And took him out, wrapped him up. Now he looking like a rodeo in this thing. He got him rodeo with the hand tied up to the legs. Now you all assed out in this thing to the spirit. You got it, King. So, but like your brother was saying, they gonna get into the kingdom. If this is literally saying they're gonna have to keep the laws. They're gonna have to. And if they don't, what's gonna happen? They're gonna get punishment. So if you're giving somebody punishment, that means they under your rulership. That's a sign of what slavery. Okay. As well. Khan, you got it, King.
Khan. That's exactly right. Exactly right. And so yeah, Khan. So and we're gonna show you literal slavery in the kingdom of heaven. Because if you disagree that this is talking about the kingdom of heaven, one, you would have to show us where in history this happened. First of all, you have to show us where in history this happened. And you would really have to break down who was the real Israelites. And that's just another video. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into these precepts. So the first one we went to is let's go to Isaiah 14:1. You know?
Yeah, classic.
The classic, man. To show you we not running. Because this all ties into Revelation 21, in verse 4. What people got stuck up on is that in Revelation 21, verse 4, is saying that there's not going to be any death, any pain, right? All the former things have passed away. Oh, yeah. Also, Slacky, addressing the brothers, or I don't know who this is, but he brought out Revelation. Couldn't even do with that. Just did it. We just did it, right? No impure thing will enter into heaven. So, first of all, slavery is impure. So, what precept is that? First of all, what precept says slavery is impure? If that's the case, let's read this precept real quick. That must mean that God is impure because He's going to allow this.
This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse number 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
On who?
On Jacob.
No, all nations.
On Jacob.
On everybody.
On Jacob.
Right, on Jacob. Go ahead.
And will yet choose Israel.
And yet choose Israel. So come on now, we're talking about Israel. All right, go ahead.
And set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So when did this ever happen? When were the Israelites set in their own land, the strangers being joined with them, and they're cleaving to the house of Jacob? But it hasn't happened yet, right? And the strangers, yes, this is going into the other nations, right? But yeah, they're going to be, so this is talking about the kingdom. They're going to be with us in the kingdom, but guess what? They're going to be cleaving to us, just as we read. Brothers was bringing out those precepts, Micah 4, Isaiah 2, Zechariah 14 and 16. Literally in Zechariah 8 and verse 20, let's hold that real quick. Let's go to Zechariah 8 and 20, right? Let's go to Zechariah 8 and 20, man. We're literally going to be cleaving. When it says cleave, like you cleaving onto Natash, man, yeah, you're going to be doing that in the kingdom, man, right?
8 and 20?
Yeah, 8 and 20.
Zechariah chapter 8 and verse 20. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, it shall yet come to pass that there shall come people and the inhabitants of many cities.
Right.
And the inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, let us go speedily to pray before the Lord and to seek the Lord of hosts. I will go also.
Yeah, so they're not going to be worshiping Buddha, Krishna. They're not going to be worshiping any of their false pagan gods, Odin. Maybe Esau, he wants to go worship Odin real quick, right, in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just dipped off. Now he's worshiping Odin, right? You better not be worshiping Odin in the kingdom, man. All right? You're going to be worshiping one God, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, right? It says, let us go speedily to pray before the Lord and to seek the Lord of hosts. I will go also. These are nations. These are heathen that's saying that. So yeah, Colin, let's keep going.
Verse 22. Yeah, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem and to pray before the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take Salaki shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew.
That is a Jew. So they're going to take hold on the skirt of him that is a Jew. Right, go ahead.
Saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that God is with you.
God is with you. God is not with me. God is with you. So I'm going to go with you, man. I'm going to go where you going, right? Because the Most High, everybody's going to know that the Most High is going to be with Israel. You're going to have to go to Israel to get the understanding, to get everything, right? Because that's part of the curses. Israelites are on bottom right now. Israel has to go to these other nations for everything, for water, food, clothing, right? A phone. If you want a phone, you got to go to the so-called white man. So all these things are going to be reversed, right? So they're going to have to be coming to us, to the Israelites for everything, right? In the kingdom of heaven, all right? Even to worship the Most High, they're going to have to go to the Israelites, right? So that's what that means. It's going to have to cleave to the house of Jacob. They're going to be literally doing that, right? So let's go back to Isaiah 14:2.
Now this is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Right. So the house of Israel shall possess them. What does that word possess mean? The word possess means, I believe is Yurash. The word is. Let's see what it is, man. The spirit. All right. Yeah, to get as a possession, acquire, inherit, possess. So meaning that you own that thing. All right. That word possession means you own it. So we're going to own people. What does it mean when you own a person? You know, that means you bought them, man. You kind of acquired it. Hey, this is my slave right here, man. Oh, this belong to Brother Sarat, or you know what I'm saying? Hey, this belongs to you know what I'm saying? So you're literally going to possess people in the kingdom. It says, for possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Servants and handmaids. These are slaves. You understand? All right, go ahead.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
Right.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
So first of all, if you disagree that this is talking about the kingdom of heaven, when did this ever happen? Nobody can substantiate it. In fact, one of your top Christian scholars will even say that, yes, there will be a form of servitude in the kingdom, because they can't get around this. You just can't get around the scripture. All right. Even your top Christian scholars will say that. So, you know, but and let's go to verse 3.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear,
right,
and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased.
Yeah, going into how Babylon the Great is literally ruling over us. And then verse 3 is talking about verse 3 is just talking about how you understand and know that that's talking about the kingdom of heaven. Because in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have rest, right? That's something that Israel does not have.
That's right.
And has not experienced in its entirety. All right, is rest. So yeah, that's how you know it's talking about the kingdom. All right. So you want to have slaves in the kingdom, man. All right. You had a precept up?
I got a couple precepts to the spirit too. I'm gonna get this first. Let me get Isaiah. Psalms chapter 2 and verse. Just get to the point in 8. I'm on 7. He said, I will declare the decree. The Lord has said unto me, thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance. So literally, he gonna give the heathen for the inheritance, like the brother was going into. He says, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possessions. So the heathen's gonna be the possession, and the whole world's gonna be in our possessions. That's plain. And the Most High say, if you ask of me, so we can't say, hey, the Lord, hey, don't tolerate a being having captives, because he say, ask of me. He said, ask me, and I'll give you this. It's plain. You know, it's plain as day. You know, and then this is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So literally, he's gonna give us literally them to be our captives. They're gonna be the same way we go into captivity, the same way we was in captivity, were in captivity, and still is in captivity. Same is gonna happen to them, double fold, triple fold in a sense, So I got one more precept. So you can't get around it how the Most High works. It's just the way they did it was unjustly. They abhorred us, in a sense. This is Sirach chapter 33 and verse 24. It says, Father, a wand and burdens are for the ass, and bread and correction are in work for a servant. So literally all those things for a servant. It says, if thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. So we're gonna be beating them to subjection, telling them what to do and what not to do. They're gonna be ripping and running the plantation in a sense. Run this all the way to Yasha'Allah plantation and come back. Don't do nothing else. Run this. Once you go from there, go to Natash plantation. That's how it's gonna be. You gotta keep that servant working. It says 26. A yoke and a collar do bow the neck. So are tortures and torments for an evil servant. Your servant get out of line. You gotta do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do to that servant. Make sure he obeying. Because you gotta obey your master, right? Ain't that what they were saying? Obey thy master.
Right. Exactly.
Obey your master. Stop playing around and stop shucking and jiving and playing around. Twiddle D and twiddle dumb. You're gonna have you not playing with you in a sense. It says verse 27, send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. Set him to work as is fit for him. If he be not obedient, put on more heavy fetters. So if you're not obedient, we're gonna break you down all the way down. Just the way you broke us down, our ancestors down, we're gonna break you down just as well. We're not gonna do the nonsense y'all did to us, man. So don't think that way. We're gonna rule in righteousness. Like the scripture said, don't abhor a Edomite or a Egyptian, because that is thy brother. We ain't gonna do craziness to you. No butt breaking, none of that. We ain't doing none of that. We ain't taking your wife, snatching her out the cabin. No, we're not doing none of that. We don't need to do all that. We gonna rule you in subjection. You get on the line, we're gonna beat you down. If you keep getting out of the line, we're gonna have you they're gonna have you standing on bottles. If you fall in the hole, you get spanked up, So that's how it's gonna get in a sense. But you got it, King.
Con. No, that's exactly right, man. And Salaki, I just want to touch on the point because, I mean, like, where's the priesthood that says that slavery is impure? You can't find that, man. So how is there going to be no precepts pulled? First of all, I don't see any precepts being pulled, right? But anyways, I mean, we don't expect precepts to be pulled, right? Now, Leviticus 25:44 says this: if slavery is impure, the brothers was bringing out precepts proving that slavery is going to be in the kingdom. You're going to be ruling these nations with a rod of iron. The Lord said, just ask of me, and I'm going to give you these heathen for your inheritance. Just like your dad saying, like, look, tell me what you want. Like, I'll give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you want that toy, or I'm going to give you that toy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how the Most High looks at these damn heathen. Like possessions, like inheritance. Like things you should buy and sell. We're just about to read that in the law. So if you're saying that slavery is impure, we're about to read it in the law. So you're basically saying that the law is impure, right? And that is very off to say that. Absolutely. Because guess what? Paul doesn't agree with that. Paul says, wherefore the law is good and the commandment good and holy, man. You know what I'm saying? Wherefore the law is holy, just, and good, right? So the Lord calls these laws holy. So I don't know what people are talking about. But yeah, Con, let's read this real quick.
Con, this is Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen.
Be of who?
Shall be of the heathen.
No, that's impure. Like
shall be of the heathen.
It's plain in the text. Remember, the law is a little bit more plainer than Revelation. All right, it's plain. The Lord is not. It's not a metaphor. Maybe the bondman is going into, if you go into the word, brother, it's not going into actual men. It's going into the spirit. You kind of get these spirits captive and then go to this book. Nah, it's literal. All right, it's literal. You're going to have these bondmen and these bondmaids, these slave men and slave women, for of the heathen. It's like of the heathen, right? Go ahead.
Shall be of the heathen that are about you, so like that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids.
Right, of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. You can literally buy and sell them. How much you selling him for? I was really selling them for 40, but you can have it for 30. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you can have it for 30. All right, yeah, Con, that's a good deal to the spirit. You know what I'm saying? So you can literally buy and sell these men and women. All right, Con, go ahead.
Continue.
Yeah.
Verse 45. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall you buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession.
So they shall be your possession. Right? Now, here's the very here's what is a little bit different. Because yes, you can have a Hebrew servant, you can have an Israelite servant. People have that misconception about, the Bible condones slavery. It does, but it doesn't condone slavery between other Israelites, right? So let's read verse 46 real quick.
46. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession.
To inherit them for a possession. Go ahead.
And they shall be your bondmen forever.
How long?
Forever.
Now it's going to be 7 years, and it's going to be 6 years, and the 7th year you can release them.
Forever.
Forever. Right? Forever. So that means that it's like chattel slavery, right? I'm gonna look that up actually. Chattel slavery, right? Let's look up the definition of chattel slavery. Chattel slavery is the most common form of slavery known to Americans. This system, which allowed people considered legal property. What is an inheritance? Property. Just like how you inherit like a house, land, you pass that down. You might inherit money, that's passed down from generation to generation. The same way you inherit that, it's the same way you inherit slaves.
That's right.
Of these heathens, right? Consider legal property to be bought, sold, and owned forever. Is that not what we're reading here? That's literally what we're reading right here. So think before you make a dumb comment on that page, on our page, man, or on any person's page. Before you study this word, before you make comments like that, man, and just come to the conclusion that slavery is impure. We're literally reading chattel slavery being condoned in the Bible from the Israelites being able to put these heathens in slavery. And show me where that ever changed, man. Right? To be bought, sold, and owned forever was lawful and supported by the United States and European powers. Of course, that's we our people was used to that. So yeah, so that's literally in the law. So if you thinking that's impure, guess what? You're calling the law impure, and by you saying that, you really need to repent. But it's like, sorry, you got a precept for the spirit.
I do got a precept of the spirit, because like the brother saying, hey, this thing has been lawful, and it's always been done in our nation. It's not something new as far as slavery dealing with the other nations. You know what I mean? And so that thing been a thing from the beginning. and we know David, he has slaves. He put out a charges in the decrees out as to what to do certain things. So and then we know David, he only sinned off of 2 accounts that they say. Other than that, he was perfect in a sense. This is 1 Kings chapter 5 and verse 13. It says, this is Solomon. It says, and King Solomon raised a levy out of all Israel, and the levy was 30,000 men. So literally, he raised a decree. Levy means a decree, and he said, and he sent them to Lebanon 10,000 a month of courses, in a month that they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home, and Adoram was over the levy. And Solomon had 70,000 and bare burdens, and 80,000 hewers in the mountains, beside the chief of Solomon's officers, which were over the work, 3,300, which ruled over the people that wrought in the work. And the king commanded, and they brought great stones, costly stones, and huge stones to lay the foundation of the house. So literally, he literally made a decree to have these certain people in subjection. And had made a decree out and was over these certain people. And it was 3,300. So that's a lot of people. So, but you got a king.
Yeah, Khan, and that's a great precept as well. Khan, hey Dave, he was attacking these Edomites, putting them in chains, man. Right? Guess what? Yahweh shot. There's literally Isaiah 63 goes into Yahweh shot, killing these Edomites, man. He said, "Who is this that coming from Basra, man? With dyed garments, it looked like he been trodden in the wine press, man." Yahweh shot said, "Yeah, you right on that. I trod the wine press alone, man.
There was none with me.
Right? So that's so really people really think that, really have a very big misconception about what this Bible is, man. All right. It's not all butterflies and, flowers, roses, hugs, and babies, and
the Lord is a man of war.
The Lord is a man of war. All right. That's why he's talking about you want to spoil the Egyptians, That's what the Lord talks about that. You didn't know that, huh? Y'all thought that this is God, man. I'm gonna look up God right now, man. It's gonna pop up, bro. Y'all thought that this was God, man. That's why y'all believe that. That's why y'all believe this thing. That's why, hey, if I believe that this is God, I wouldn't believe that slavery is going to be in the kingdom. Why would I believe that? Right? What is it? This man looks like, this man does not look like a man of war at all. I feel like if I saw that man in war, I'd be like, man, why are you even here? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want you on my team.
You don't get at him quick.
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, so y'all think that this is the Most High. That's why you got this image in your head. That's why Jake would bring out these precepts. It's like, damn, you keep thinking about this man, right? But yeah, Khan. So we're gonna bring out like a couple precepts going into just kind of rapid fire, going into like how there's going to be slavery in the kingdom. All right. So let's bring out what you have first. Isaiah 45. All right, Khan, let's bring that up.
This is Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 14. Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabeans, men of stature, shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come.
They shall be what?
They shall be thine.
They shall be thine. You see that? Oh, it's like you said. So what? You said something, Key?
No, you got it. I was repeating what you were saying, Key.
Oh yeah, Khan, exactly. Yeah, it shall be thine. Thine meaning yours. Your possession, right? Go ahead.
They shall come after thee in chains. They shall come over.
Why are they in chains, man? Why are they're in chains? Because guess what? Hey, they're going to be put in slavery. That's why. All right, Khan, go ahead.
In chains they shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God.
You see that? So they're going to realize that, look, God is in you, man. They're going to fall down to it, bow down, make supplication. That's what that means. Bow down, make supplication onto the Israelites. You understand? They're going to be in chains too, because there's going to be slavery in the kingdom of heaven. And you can't show me where this happened. What time in history? Give me the history, man. Give me the precept. So this is talking about the kingdom of heaven. All right. Let's go to Isaiah. Well, actually, Salakia. There was one in Isaiah 50, right? 55 and 3. Oh yeah, kind of not Salakia. I got it. 54 and 3.
This is Isaiah chapter 54 and verse number 3. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles.
So your seed is going to inherit the Gentiles. What does that talk about? Your seed is going to inherit the Gentiles, meaning Israel. And that's how you know it's not talking about spiritual Israel. Your seed. Can you have a spiritual seed? No. Your seed is a literal. We don't have to get too in depth. Like, what is the seed going into? Now we're going to the Hebrew. So we already know what a seed is. All right, the seed of a man. It says, "Thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles." Go ahead.
And make the desolate cities to be inhabited.
Right. So inherit meaning, look, take as a possession. So you're going to take these Gentiles as a possession. It's not deep, man. All right. You don't have to get too deep. Let's go to Isaiah 16, verse 10.
This is Isaiah chapter 60 and verse number 10.
And remember, Salaki, Isaiah 60, nothing in Isaiah 60 really has came to pass in its full effect yet, right? Because you could say verse 1, right? You could say verse 1, you could say verse 2, but the rest of it is talking about the kingdom, all right? The rest of it is talking about the kingdom. So let's go to Isaiah 16, verse 10.
This is Isaiah chapter 60 and verse number 10. And the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Right. So the Lord said, the sons of the strangers are going to build up your walls. That's going into these nations that's round about us. All right. They're going to have to build up our walls, just like how we had to build up the walls of America. It's like how we had to build up all these other nations and kingdoms for them. They're going to have to build it for us. And that's just. That's a just recompense. That's right. That's how the Lord works. It says, and let's go to verse 11. And what's crazy is Isaiah 60 lines up exactly with a Revelation 21. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to verse 11.
Verse 11. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
Right, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. What's the forces of the Gentiles? That's going into their money, their possessions, their wealth, their strength, everything. They're going to have to bring it to us. Right, go ahead.
And that their kings may be brought.
That their kings may be brought. Their kings are going to have to be brought, man. What, to rule? No, not to rule, but to build up our king. Because we always read that precept, Isaiah 49:23. Thy king shall be thy nursing fathers, and thy queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth and lick up the dust of thy feet. Right? So, that precept is famous. But yeah, let's go to verse 12.
Verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee.
So if let's say you don't want to serve us, let's say they're like, nah, F that, man. What you think I'm gonna bow down to the Dash? I'm not finna bow down to Iraq. Not finna build up their nation. So if you don't want to serve them, go ahead.
Shall perish.
Shall what?
Shall perish.
Nah, nothing's gonna happen to them.
Shall perish.
God loves everybody.
Shall perish.
They're going to perish. Christians can't understand that. Maybe they understand, but they don't want to accept it. All right, I'll give you that. maybe sometimes they understand it's like, damn, it kind of makes sense. Then they're like, no. And like that, brother. You know, it started making sense. Now you got to dip.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because you don't want your whole foundation to fall down. You know, and then you have to build up again. That's why people, they don't want to change, because they would have to break down and build up again. They don't want to build up again. You know, but it says, let's keep reading.
Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Yeah, they're going to be utterly wasted, man. So, what? So every Christian will agree that in Isaiah 60, that's going into it's an eschaton precept, man. It's an eschaton chapter, for real. You know, all this stuff, it hasn't happened yet, right? It's talking about the city of the Lord, right? You're going to suck the milk of the Gentiles, meaning you want to get their possessions. They're going to have to come to you for everything, right? The sun shall be no more like thy light by day. That's in Revelation 21. So we see, it says, this is a really big one too. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, meaning violence against each other, of course, because there's still going to be violence to these other nations. All right, you understand? It says, "I people shall all be righteous." So this is talking about in the kingdom. There's no going around that. So brother had said in this video that there's not going to be any slavery in the kingdom. How could slavery be in the kingdom, bro? Literally, we'll read that in Isaiah 60, that these nations are going to be wasted. They're going to perish, right? They're going to have to build up our walls. That's slavery. Would you think they're going to be willing to do that? They're just going to be willing to, you're just going to tell somebody, all right, build up my walls for free. We're not going to pay them. You know what I'm saying? We're not paying them nothing, man. So all that stuff is going to be happening in the kingdom of heaven. All right. And let's go to Numbers real quick.
This is Numbers chapter 24 and verse number 18. And you want me to start from 17?
Yeah, you can start from 17.
Verse 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession.
Edom shall be a what?
Shall be a possession.
Edom is going to be a possession. Again, we keep reading about the nations being a possession, right? Go ahead.
Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly.
Right. So this is going into what? Yahweh Shah coming, because that's the star of Jacob. That's the scepter that shall rise out of Israel. That's going to smite the corners of Moab and going to destroy all the children of Sheth, going to all the children of Shem, meaning he's going to destroy a lot of people. All right. Edom, he's going to put Edom in slavery. Israel's going to do valiantly. And says, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Another precept that proves that. All right. So, Khan, Salak, you had a precept too, Ak? Oh, you on mute, Ak.
Salak, yeah. Revelation chapter 2.
Oh, yeah, Khan.
I don't know if you're just going to bring that out or something.
Oh, no, you got it. You can bring it out.
This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So literally, hey, you got to endure to the end in this thing. And then what? You will get the nations. That's what? For inheritance. It says, verse 27, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. So you're going to rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. So that's plain. If you endure to the end, you will get the nations as an inheritance, and you'll have power over them. It's plain and simple. And the brother brought out, hey, you can't fight these precepts, man. You can't fight these precepts, man.
That's right.
It's plain.
Right. Yeah, you can't fight them. And this is what a vessel is, like an ancient type of potter's vessel, basically. Gone. And like, yeah, you can't fight against these precepts. You can't fight against this truth. And like this is how the nations are going to be looking, man. kind of break these pieces and these nations in pieces. So what? So if there's not going to be any like violence in the kingdom, why is the Lord saying you're going to rule them with a rod of iron? What do you do with a rod of iron? Start hitting people, man. You know what I'm saying? You start boom, boom, boom. So it just shows you the rigor that we're going to rule these nations with. All right. That's why the Lord likens it onto you breaking a vessel. So in order for you to get that vessel, that vase, start breaking it, you got to start hitting it. You got to start hitting it with force. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. All right. Same thing. So yeah, Khan. You got anything else on that too? No. All right, Khan. All praise. It's like you got anything else on that, King? We wasn't going into too deep or anything.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have nothing else to do with spirit, but
okay, Khan. Okay, Khan. All praise to the Most High. So yeah, all praise to the Most High, man. We just have to address that real quick. People talking about we're running. Look, man. I don't know if you watched the whole video. Nobody was running. Okay, nobody was running. Sometimes you got to use wisdom out there because the Lord says that certain people are spiritually disowned. So no matter how many precepts you bring out, no matter how many lessons you do, it's just like, you really think there's going to be slavery in the kingdom? All right, so maybe you just don't understand, brother. All right, maybe you just gotta give it some time or whatever. We planted the seed. That's all we can do. All right?
Man, I ain't never seen the brothers run ever. So that's madness.
Most all willing, we never do that.
Ain't nothing to run from. Hey, Shalom, Issachar to the spirit.
Yeah, Khan, Shalom, Issachar, and Shalom to all that's watching this through the spirit. All praises. Yeah, I just want to get a closing precept real quick too.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we're gonna get a closing precept. Hey, my brother, Judah Maya, he loved going to his precept. And I have to do it. This is Acts chapter 28, verse 31. He said, preaching the kingdom of Yahweh and teaching those things which concerning the Lord of Mashiach Yahushai with all confidence. Hey, we got all confidence out there, man. Ain't nothing you could say. There's nothing you could do. We not running. Ain't no hopscotch. Ain't no game. We out here doing this thing. We ain't running from nothing. To the spirit. We got we form like Voltron. Anytime brothers got mighty precepts, the teacher got the mighty precepts, the readers could be having mighty precepts. The brothers on the whole and the post be having precepts. Brothers could Voltron you up and you can get out of here. It could be that simple. So it says with all confidence, no man forbidding him. Because we come with the truth. And when you come with the truth, there's nothing you can do with the truth. But stand there and look dumb to the spirit. We do this and we study, late nights, all these scratching the head trying to figure things out, calling the brothers. This is often not for not. We really study this thing. So of course we're gonna be out there with confidence because that's what the spirit say. We ain't scared of nothing. The Most High didn't give us no spirit of fear. Because he blesses with this wisdom. We gonna proclaim this truth in all four corners of the earth.
Right, that's right.
You got it, King.
That's right. You had a precept on it? Or you can bring it out if you want. I have one. Yeah.
This is Baruch chapter 4 and verse 24. Mm-hmm. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our God. Which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from God. For thine enemy have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck. All praise to the Most High.
All praise to the Most High. Going to tread upon these enemies' neck, man. They kind of silent. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be silent through the spirit, right? Kind of silence these Christians. And Khan, I'm gonna get this one as well to the spirit. All right. This is what we doing out here, man. This is Jude chapter 1 and verse number 3. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you, and exhort you that ye should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. So that's what we're doing out here, man. We're following the words of Jude through the spirit power Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, right? He spoke these words. He said, look, I'm right unto you because I'm exhorting you to earnestly contend for the faith. What does it mean to earnestly do something? To do it with passion, to do it with, to do it with rigor. You know what I'm saying? To do it all your might. So Sirach 43 verse 30 says, when you exalt the Lord, do it all your might, all your strength, man. So that's what we're doing out here. That's why we're trying to contend for this faith, is because a lot of our people is under that Christian damn stronghold. We got to get them out of that because it's lies, man. And come to the one true God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, man. So we got to stand 10 toes down for this truth and contend. Lord says, strive for the truth unto death, man. And Lord shall fight. So that's what we're doing here. Spirit. So yeah, Khan, I'll praise. But yeah, Khan, with that, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Mamalak Yahweh Shah, this brother Yashua,
brother Natash.
Hey, brother Sirach.
Khan, come back to y'all yet in the video through the spirit power Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shabbat Shalom to all that's observing it. Shalom to all the that's on this live right now. It's 11:55 p.m. on the Pacific, man. You know what I'm saying? Getting this word in, man. Getting this word in. That's what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? So all praise to the Most High. Kwame Yashua.
Kwame Yashua.
Shalom.